after Thursday, 30th September 2021. So as already indicated in previous notices, the Gumwa East District shall assume no liability for any property not evacuated from the camp by the demolition day. It adds in that notice.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Emefapa bringing us details of that evacuation notice served by the District Assembly there. My colleague Joseph Akable spent the day at Budumburam interacting with the residents and reports that some of them are adamant while some are demanding compensation, without which they will resist the demolition exercise. Listen.
I bet you to go here on the sun that is shining. Liberian people will enter motor will go. If they bring buses to this sun that's shining, Liberian people will enter and go. But when they are going back, know that the intention that they are going with, they are not going with good intention.
The thing that is going on ground is I'm not satisfied at all, because they brought two options to us. 2012, if you can remember. They said that we should choose to go back home or to stay. Some of us have agreed to stay. We expected them to give us some packages, maybe finding houses for us. And we understand. Taking us from out of the refugee camp, relocating us, finding houses, giving us some allowances. Maybe if you are in the working class, they make you to work. If you have the qualification, right? Certain works. If you are supposed to go to school, send you to school. But up to now, we haven't gotten such a package yet. Now, they give us 400 cities. Think to yourself, can 400 cities find a house for you for a year in Ghana here? 400 cities. Can it get you a house? That's the money they are announcing around. They gave us something.
So right now, you are supposed to move today. What are you going to move? Have you packed your things already?
I didn't pack anything. It's there. If they want to come and break their house of my things, let them break it. We will go and sleep in the street. Maybe that's what they want.
Of Ghanaians, Liberians, Ivorians, all of us, we are all one. So they should see about us.
Are you going to move from here?
No, when they say we should move from there, you should come and decide. We are living with UN people here. You understand? You can't just drop somebody like this. They will come for us. We are tired.
Liberians, they don't come here on their own. Liberians are here because of something that happened back home. You got me? Okay. If people or individuals are coming up to say Liberians should leave this place and go back home, there are certain things they should consider. These people have lived at this number of time. So if you want to take them from here, let's get certain things straight. Then we can get them from here. Look at a passport given to a Liberian. And in the passport, I think you saw my friend, I showed it to you. You cannot state in the passport that he shouldn't work here, he shouldn't do anything here. Meanwhile, in Liberia, we have Ghanaians that are working in the ministries. Ghanaians are working without resident permit.
Ghana government says we should go. No problem, we'll go. But border is closed. How will we go? We'll fly and go? No. We can't fly and go. Right now, the government of Ghana saying that the chief have power government. It's true.
But even if we break the house today, I will stay here today. I have nowhere to go. If you see anyone parking that way, they are Ghanaians. I'm a refugee.
I never came here to hustle. I never came here to cause problem. Liberia is a peaceful country. We love the whole world. The whole world want to live in Liberia right now.
You are supposed to pack out by close of day today. Have you done that?
I already packed my things, and I cannot pack out because they have not come out to my rescue to give my doable solution. They have not given me my doable solution. So I have to stay on the camp. I will stay here. I will sleep on the street. That is it.
Ghana government told us, Nana Akufo-Addo told us that we should leave. And now our doable solution is not yet giving it to us. They said we should leave, and we're not getting anything from them yet. How can we leave today?
So those are some of the residents there at Budumbura. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me on the line with more on this. Joseph, so mainly those you spoke there are either Liberians, Sierra Leoneans. Many of them are not Ghanaians, but they live there with Ghanaians as well. Do you get the sense the Ghanaians are already moving out and really agree with this program?
In fact, during my interaction with these individuals who have lived here, some for more than 20 years, some 15 years, some 30 years, in the course of the interaction, there were individuals who had packed out and vehicles were moving their items out of the camp. And they were actually hooting at some of them. Others were actually saying bye-bye to them. And the point they were making that those are Ghanaians who live within and amongst them who have decided to leave. They say that as far as they, as foreigners who came into the country under very desperate times and have now made here a home for them, they do not have anywhere to go to. And so there are a number of reasons that they give for their inability to relocate. So for some of them, it's an issue of not having a place to go to. Number two, some also say that the borders are even closing. So if they intend to even go by road, which is, in their opinion, is relatively cheaper, they cannot move as well. Then others also hold the view that this is their home. They've lived there for long enough. And so this is where they ought to remain.
And they demonstrated today. They wanted the Regional District Security Council to heed their plea. You moved to the office of the District Chief Executive to interact with him. You put their concerns before him. What was his response?
In fact, for Mr. Solomon Adakokwam, he says the directive from the presidency to the assembly is to simply sensitize the residents of the impending demolition. He says as far as they are concerned, they can choose to argue, they can choose to disagree. He's simply communicating to them that this is what is going to happen and that they ought to move from the place.
We were mandated to sensitize residents in Budumburam, the camp, of an impending demolition, which has been sanctioned by government. And when I say that, from the presidency. And so DISEC met and agreed on a 2-month ultimatum, or if you like, moratorium for residents to leave the place. And that 2 months ends today, being 30th of September. After that, the rest of the matter is a national security issue. So the actual demolition, may commence anytime from after today. So that is what is going on, and we decided to put out that final reminder to residents that the last day is here. So basically, that is it.
And what is the specific reason for the demolition? Is it a case that, because we've heard it being put out there that the area has become a crime haven of sorts? What specifically is the reason?
It's a myriad of factors. The first is what you have just mentioned. Budumburam has become so notoriously popular for criminal activities. A number of robbers are often chased to that place for arrests and those things. I hope you have not also lost sight of the fact that it was just Budumburam, the same Budumburam, that 2 able-bodied policemen were gunned down one hot afternoon, and several of them. So the security matter challenge is one. But that aside, the place itself has outlived its usefulness. By that I mean it has ceased to be a camp since 2010, because 1919, when the place was acquired, if you like, to be used as a camp for the refugees from Sierra Leone, Liberia, and co. That has ceased since 2010, because when Liberia became stable, Sierra Leone and those things, the United Nations High Commission on Refugees and the Ghana Refugee Board both undertook repatriation and sent the people there, those who wanted to. And those who wanted to integrate into Ghana, i.e. accept that, they want to be Ghanaians forever, were also given the option. And from my information, they were also given monies to be able to leave the camp and settle anywhere they wanted in Ghana. That is what some have failed to do and have remained there and have become a conduit for other, if you like, non-refugees to also infiltrate into the camp and perpetrate all manner of crime that you and I know. During the 2010 repatriation, some monies were given them to actually leave this camp. So anybody who is there at their own volition. So that is more or less sorted out.
So that is the District Chief Executive for Gomwa East. Let me go on to the line now and speak to Central Region correspondent Richard Kojo Nyako. Richard, we understand that the chiefs in that area are throwing their weight behind this evacuation and pending demolition. Why is that?
So, Ernest, they even started this move in the first place. It was as a result of the rampant cases of insecurity in Kaswa, armed robbery, and other nefarious activities in the area. And they said that Kaswa was earning a bad name because of the Budumburam refugee camp. And so if they got that place demolished, they could use that place for some better investment, and it will help the entire community. By so doing, it will also help ease the security tension in the area. And so they organized series of press conferences calling on government to do something about it, because from 2010 that place ceased to be a refugee camp. They wanted government to effectuate whatever decision that they had taken, and so they called on government to, as a matter of necessity and urgency, demolish the camp so that the place would be used for some better development for the people of the area. But that is not to say that what they said that there are also indigenes that are also staying around. But they said that the foreign people, the people that are not of Ghanaian descent, they have teamed up with the people there, and so they have built camps. And so all the attacks, all the bodyguard associations and groups are found there. And so they want all of these things to cease. And so that is why the chiefs are throwing their weight behind government to get the place demolished, and then for the place to be used for some better investment.
That is our Central Region correspondent, Richard Kojo Nyako. We're joined by the acting head of the Refugee Board, Tete Paddy. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. In our interaction with the DCE, he indicated that the board has a responsibility towards a few of the refugees. What exactly and how many are we looking at?
Well, first of all, let me make a few corrections. Cessation was implemented at the end of 2012 and not 2010. Secondly, I heard some of the Liberians, and I'm careful not to refer to them as refugees. Some of the Liberians say that they were given 400 cedis. That is completely incorrect. Each adult in every household was given $400 US. And so in houses where there were, for instance, 4 adults, you can do the calculation. Now, that money was not meant to look after them for the rest of their lives. It was meant to assist them to rent a place initially. And that is because...
Mr. Paddy, how much do you say again?
$400 US per adult.
And this was in 2012?
This was in 2013 because cessation was invoked on 31st December 2012.
In 2013, $400 per adult, not per household?
Adult. No.
Okay.
Not per household, per adult. And so in households where there were 4 adults, that would be $1,600 US. Now, the whole choice of local integration was based on the fact that these former refugees said to us that, look, we've lived here for so long, we cannot return home, we have no ties back home, but we have social and, very importantly, economic ties here in Ghana. We can stay here, we can work, we can look after ourselves. And so they were given a package of a free passport, a free residence permit paid for by UNHCR and the Ghana government. They were given 1 year's NHIS subscription, and then they were given the cash grant. The cash grant was just for the initial rental, so that was just to help them along the way. So it's completely untrue to say that they were not assisted with shelter. Our local integration document indicated that they will be supported with shelter, and that support came in the form of the $400 per adult.
Okay,
and there was also a small amount for children.
Can you hold on for me, sir?
Documented.
Mr. Paddy, if you could just hold on. So those who opted to integrate were given $400 per adult. And
I need to check, but I think it was $100 per child.
Okay.
As well.
And in your estimation, that amount was good enough to get them started, to rent a place and begin the process of integration at the time?
Indeed, it was. And they were given work permits as well as residence permits.
What was the other option?
To be renewed for free for them.
What was the other option for those who didn't want to integrate?
The other option was to voluntarily repatriate.
Okay.
And so some opted for that and went to Liberia. However, there was also the opportunity for some of them who felt well over 3,000 people applied for it, but 3,000 households applied for it, but only about 350 household refugees. And those are the people that we have a responsibility towards.
What went into that? What went into that shortlisting?
For them to be relocated.
What went into that shortlisting? You have over 3,000 people apply, just a little over 300 actually given the opportunity to stay. What did you consider in making that decision?
Well, there are 5 criteria for recognizing persons as refugees. And so if the petition they put forward included issues that fit origin, these persons were then exempted from the cessation clause.
And so you have well over 300 people that you need to take care of.
That's correct.
What exactly is your responsibility towards them?
Well, we have shelters in other refugee camps. Fortunately, the British High Commission assisted us last year to renovate some shelters. They are not enough. We also got help from some other entities. The U.S. Embassy also helped us, and a few other agencies helped us with shelter renovation. This was all in anticipation of the possibility of having to relocate refugees from Budubram. As I said earlier on, we still have a gap, which we're working fervently to fill. But clause who still remain refugees.
And so, have you begun the process of relocating some of the over 300 people because you say it's not enough?
Indeed, we've engaged these persons. Those who want to be relocated have indicated their willingness to be relocated. We are on the ground working with all our partners to make sure that all those who want to be relocated will be relocated in safety and in dignity.
How many?
I cannot give you a figure off the top of my head, but our staff are still in the field engaging the refugees.
So what happens to those who are not able to find shelters? What happens to those you are not able to provide shelters?
If you are referring to those who are still refugees, it is our obligation to find them shelters, and we will.
I am referring to the over 300 people that you indeed identify as people who qualify and was exempted and were exempted.
Yes, those 300 people or so, we have a responsibility to make sure that if they want alternative shelter, we find them alternative shelter in one of our existing camps.
And so those people, as we speak, are in the camp, are in Budumburam.
That is correct.
So you can assure them, if they are listening tonight, that the demolition will not affect them adversely, and that before that happens, you will provide shelter for them.
We will provide shelter, but it's important for me to state that we are not providing shelter in Accra because we do not have refugee camps in Accra. Our refugee camps are in other regions, and so those who would like to be relocated to those places, we will take them there.
Does it come with just shelter, or there are other perks that come with a relocation?
Well, we do recognize that they will be moving from their comfort zones, and so we are arranging to make some assistance available to them for at least 3 months to make sure that we don't throw them into the deep end.
But there are those in the sound we just heard from Budumburam who say they do not have the passports. How true is that?
As I said, we issued passports to all those who opted for local integration. You are aware that passports expire after 5 years. And so the passports were renewed, and the residence permits in them had to be reissued. The residence permits also had expiry dates. We have reissued. So the Liberian government, which is responsible for issuing the passports, has issued the passports. Unfortunately, there was a delay in passport issuance or passport renewals due to the pandemic. However, when things settled, the passports have been sent to us. Majority of them have been renewed. The residence permits have been renewed by the Ghana Immigration Service because they do the renewal on our behalf. Well, it's their responsibility to issue residence permits. Indeed, even at the beginning of this week, if I can remember correctly, some passports were distributed in Buduburam. The large majority of them have been distributed. It's simply a matter of the renewal process, which is ongoing, and as and when we receive the passports with the renewed residence permits in them, we distribute them to the refugees. So it's not a matter of anybody being denied a passport if indeed they opted for local integration. It's important to know that there are several Liberians on the camp who did not opt for local integration, who did not opt for any of the choices that were available. Those people certainly will not be given a passport and have not been given a passport over the last 10 years.
For those who are willing,
rightly opted for local integration, we are renewing the passports and we're renewing the residence permits.
For those who are willing,
I heard
Mr. Paddy,
somebody mentioned that the Liberians had become Ghanaians. That is not the case. They are here as foreign nationals, as Liberian nationals, legally resident in Ghana.
Mr. Paddy, for those who are willing to, relocate and actually leave the country, do they have the opportunity for the board to facilitate their movements? They cite issues like the closure of the border as a challenge. Is your board willing to facilitate their movement if they are willing to move?
They ceased to be refugees in 2012-2013. That was when they were given the opportunity to be assisted to return to their country of origin. Ghana Refugee Board currently does not